Right, good morning everyone. Lovely day here in Bunny, Scotland. So this morning we're at a Mercedes and it's a CLS 320 and it's a CDI model. Now I'll take you around the front. So the problem with this car is, I'll show you here, is a 3 litre diesel. I'll put the rest of the details in the video. So it's my friend's, it's a friend of a friend, this one. It always is, isn't it? So what he was saying, the car was running fine. So he decided, oh no, I had a bad starting issue, Brendan, is that right? The bad starting issue, so he decided to go and do the glow plugs, which there was faults for injector plugs 2 and 4 anyway, so he decided to do them all. So he ended up snapping one of the plugs.
Yep.
That's right. So he then got someone to come out and extract it and repair, I think I'm getting the story right here, extract it and repair it. So when he started it back up, the thing wasn't going right at all. So someone else came out to it and scanned it, and it came up a cylinder number 6. And actually, I'll show you the scan tool data later on. And yes, that's the injector that came up with the fault. But when I was trying to help my friend here over the phone, I got him to disconnect. I think we said it was, I think initially we disconnected, I think that's a fuel pressure sensor, crank it over, and you could actually hear it cranking over. You could hear the skip, and I said to him on the phone, I said, you've got a compression problem there. So we tried that again, we disconnected that, and lo and behold, the thing started. So that didn't put it out. So in order not to get it to start and just to crank over, we disconnected the, what's that, the DRV they call it. It's in German, I can't remember what that stands for, but so we disconnected that and we foot to the floor and we cranked it over, and you can actually hear it. So I'll get Brendan to do it again and I'll show you on the scope. So right now, Brendan, I'll just get the scope going. Right, Brendan, you go for it. There's the scope running there. That'll do, Brendan. That'll do, man. In fact, I'll just get a shot, just do it again, and I'll just let them hear this. So I'll let you hear the engine. You can actually hear it. You didn't actually need to scope it. Go for it, Brendan. So you can hear it's missing the beat, as I would say. So we'll go back here in the scope. So there's the screen capture there, and we'll go back a frame. Now you can see that there. So I've set my sample to 1 mega samples, my voltage to 2 volts, but I've AC coupled it, so we're only looking at the fluctuations within the voltage. So you can see as we go along there, that's each time the piston's going to TDC. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're missing the 5th one. And as I said to Brendan, the 6th one's always slightly higher because it's coming off the back of a low compression one. So you can see that the picture says we've got a compression problem, and 1 cylinder only, I would say. So trying to rack my brains here, how can we do this on a diesel car to figure out exactly which cylinder it is that we have this compression problem. There's no point going after anything electrical at this stage because it's purely a mechanical compression problem. So one of the ways we could do it is through a pressure pulse sensor, but I ain't got one, so we can rule that out. I had one, but I broke it. The other thing I was thinking, maybe if we could disconnect like the injectors one at a time and look for a change of note. Now we can't disconnect the injectors when it's running because these may be piezo injectors, and if you do that, it can leave them open and you could hydrolock the engine. So I'm going to scratch my brains here and see how we can do it. The other thing I was going to say, I cleared out all the codes, and the one that came back was cylinder 6, but as we all know, trying to detect misfires on diesel is quite complicated. It can get them mixed up, and especially with this being 6 cylinders. Right, I'll think about it and get back to you. Cheers. Right, we've came up with an idea here. So what we've decided to do, Brendan came up with the idea, is that right, Brendan? So what we thought we'd do, and we'll just pretend we're in the middle of the desert and we're trying to diagnose this. So what we've done, we're going to disconnect, say, injector 1, and see if the engine note sounds different. So we're going to just start at the moment, Brendan. Start it and we'll hear how it sounds normally with this miss. Right, so we'll now disconnect injector number 1. That's just disconnected that. What you're better to do here is put a wee noise light in, but this one didn't seem to like it. Listen. Right, Brendan. So noise light in, injector 1 disconnected, so we'll hear if this sounds a bit different. Aye. So hopefully you could hear that. That does sound worse. So what I think we'll go to this side, we'll go to 4, 5 and 6. We believe the problem's at the right hand side. So it's cylinders 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6 on this model. So I'll get back to you if I discover anything. Right, so after racking our brains out, I think we've finally discovered something. So what we've done, we tried first of all disconnecting one injector at a time. So what we done was, with all the injectors connected, my friend Brendan was in the car and he felt how it was, so it was just a wee bit rough. So when we disconnected one injector, it got rougher. So we done that for the full of the 6 injectors, and every time we disconnected an injector, it got rougher. So that was a non-valid test, because sometimes these are maybe banked injector, I'm not actually sure. So we never done that, so that was a failure, that test. So the next thing, what I decided to do was disconnect all the injectors, right, and put my noise light into number 1, which is here, and I went for a voltage reading. Now I'll show you on my oscilloscope, but what that does sometimes is you get, I don't know how it does it, maybe bank fires them, or the voltage reading cross feeds between different circuits. So I'll show you that at scope. That was a useless test. So what I done this time, I used my amp clamp with my noise light, and I'll show you the trace, and that seems to work. So there we go. So it's amp clamp, noise light, and still onto the battery terminal. So this was the trace I then got. All day, Brendan. And this is difficult to see. So you can see that's, cheers Brendan. So you can see that's the amps clamp there on number 1. So I think we said it's 1, 3, what was it again? 1, 3, we think the firing order is. Well, here, I'll show you in here. I took a picture of it before I came out, so you can see it's 143625. 143625. I think that's the right one. So if you can see it there, so you see that's a good one. So 14362, and the one missing is 5. So we're calling a compression problem on number 5. I think the screen caps are still going, so you can see that there. So that's number 1 with amps clamp. So that's 1436225. Now if it's different from what I've said, I'll go and check the firing order out, but it's a compression problem on cylinder 5. Cheers.